Hello everybody. How are you guys doing today? Becky, Raney here, and it's April 18th already, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about resiliency. And over the last, whenever you started doing network marketing and working with us and building doTERRA, there's, this phase that you go through as far as learning how to develop yourself and to be a leader. And there's been a lot of question on what happens when you are having no luck, like you're not being able to convert people into building doTERRA or building the company. And maybe they love the products. Maybe you're even able to enroll people. One of the things that you want to keep in mind is, are you connecting with people as a servant leader? And sometimes we talk too much about the business as far as really, going after and making the money and being a founder and doing all this stuff like that. But more and more as I've been over the last 2 years doing doTERRA full time, I'm realizing, I've always been of service, but this last couple of years, I've been really working hard to work towards foundership and find amazing leaders and to find and build this business. And one of the things that is, it doesn't always go exactly the way you want it to. Placements, people drop out, whatever it is, right? There's always going to be something that actually comes along. And I wanted to point out just one thing that's really incredible is, if you can get out of your head and really work towards being a servant, really talking and getting to people's heads and what they need, what their issues are, being a friend, think about what it's like to actually have someone do that for you. Somebody's coming after you wanting to sign up and do this and just make it a business opportunity for them. And then I got a story. I remember one time when I had terrible luck with cars. In my first car I bought, I was in high school and it was terrible. It broke down all the time. And then I went off to college. My dad thought you need a more reliable car. So we got another car and it broke down all the time. And then, used cars sometimes. But then we went to a brand new dealership and we went and something just didn't feel right about this car. I just didn't trust cars anymore, right? And so I was very hesitant, but I only had a few days to actually make this decision because I was moving to California. And so I just decided I needed something, so it didn't matter what it was, I'll just get it. And I remember when I agreed to the salesperson, he was pushing and doing stuff, and he wasn't really listening to me, what my needs were. And he just was, trying to get the sell. And when I finally said yes, he jumped up and down and went around and did high five with the other sales reps and was just really, oh my gosh, I almost walked out the door like I should have because that wasn't a very good car either. But, I really felt rotten. I felt like I was taken advantage of. I felt used. I felt disappreciated. Like I didn't matter. It was just a sell for him. And really, in a lot of ways, he didn't know my name. He didn't know who I was. He didn't care. And when you think about, I had a friend who actually worked for us at the shop, and he was needing a new car. And he went on social media and started friending some of these people and asking if anybody would recommend somebody who would sell them a car, a reputable sales rep. And they referred this guy. He had a lot of people actually refer this guy. So he went on social media and inspected what he was posting and checked him out, what kind of person he was. And he saw that he had family and then he went to church and he had all these different values and stuff. And so I thought, I could jive with this guy. I think I could trust him. And so he started chatting with him, and then he decided to go meet him. And it was the most amazing experience. And so creating this relationship and getting to know people, it's like when you're who you are, when you're your authentic self and you're actually posting things and doing stuff, you want to always remember that that's going to be shown and known. But that really wasn't what I was talking about on this post. What I wanted to share with you is all this foundership conversation and all these great things that are coming up. People are really wanting to run and build a business and grow their teams. And in reality, we've been showing you all the things that you need to learn to build your business. But I think in some respects, now not to disrespect anybody, I've been listening to Eric Worre here, and he was teaching a class on after the 90-day run. He was asking a lot of people on how did that 90-day run go and kind of evaluating everything. And he saw a lot of weakness in the leadership strengths that people were coming out of. And what he meant by that is we sign up people and we don't do, or they don't have the mindset or the ability to show up and do the hard work. And when you think about starting your own business, like if you had to put a big, huge loan towards a building and employees and equipment and really play full out and do that, you would show up every day and do whatever it took so you wouldn't default on that loan. Now, that's Larry and I, that's our story. We had to go get a bank loan to start a business. We had zero money to invest in the business. At least we weren't in debt because we worked really hard to pay off all of our debt. But we had to go get this bank loan. And it was really hard. I mean, they wanted to know everything, your credit, all that stuff like that. So it was very difficult to actually get on top and make sure that they would actually loan us the money. We went to many different banks. And the story is that we were able to get the loan, but I was not going to default on that loan. I did everything I could to make sure that we had enough cash flow to make our payments, pay our bills, and do all that. I think with network marketing, a lot of people during the pandemic were at home and kind of raised maybe that things were kind of easy. I like to call it the microwave group, where we have the Generation X, but this is the microwave generation, where it could cover many different mindsets of how people were raised, that they could just sit around and the cash will flow in. Like all this money is going to be easy to make. And in retrospect, anything you do that you want in life is not going to be easy. Anything you do is going to take work. I mean, you're going to need to roll up your sleeves, sit down, and the most important thing is to do the work, practice. And I like to use another analogy. If you were training to do a marathon, you don't run the marathon the first day. No, you actually maybe plan 6 months out, and you start by going to the mailbox. And then you go to the next driveway and the next driveway, and then you just keep running down the road until you get further and further until you 6 months down the road, you think about, if I'm going to do a marathon in 6 months, that's 26 miles. So how many days do I have to get my butt up to 26 miles? What are the different foods that I need to eat? What is the different training and muscle developments that I need to do? What is the mindset when I don't want to get up and go run today? And that's the same thing with doTERRA. If you want to make a certain rank, and let's say it's gold, you want to plan, okay, here's gold. How many people do I need to enroll? And they need to order on their loyalty reward template every month in order for me to build this business. So what is it going to take to do that? You're going to need to get good at inviting people to classes, get good at teaching the classes, get good at enrolling people, get good at being of service, teaching them how to use the oils, how to get on the loyalty reward program, different ways to use the oils, the different ways to experience the oils, different resources to find how to use the oils. I mean, my gosh, there's the stuff is very easy to find and do, but do you do it? And to be able to solidify the foundation under your business so that every month as you grow, as you know, it goes back down to zero in your cells. So you got to start all over again. So that is why the loyalty reward program is so important to be able to establish that foundation. It's like helping you have good footing so that when you're trying to reach up and climb up the ladder, you have people helping you and pushing you up that are automatically doing those orders. Now, the other part of that conversation is that you need leaders to be doing the same thing that you are. Because to be gold, what do you need underneath you to be gold? Do you guys know? I'd like to have you write it in the chat. How many legs do you need to have, and what rank do those people need to be reaching gold? And then when you think about the rank before that, it's silver. How many people do you need underneath you to rank silver? And then what about Premier? What is the ranking to reach Premier? What is the ranking to be elite? How much volume do you need to be elite? And so when you work yourself backwards and know what the volume needs to be, know how many leaders you need to have, know what rank those leaders need to be in order to help lift you up, what is the plan? Then the plan is to make it to the gold ranking is you need to be working with your downline and helping lift them up to be those ranks. So the minute you make elite, which is 3,000 overall volume, that is your personal volume as far as the whole team, meaning your team can be all over the place and it just needs to be 3,000 volume. But to get up to the next rank, which is Premier, you need to have two legs to reach executive. And that is 2,000 volume on leg 1, 2,000 volume on leg 2. And then total team volume needs to be 5,000 overall volume. And in order for you to reach that, you would want to be thinking before you get to elite, you want one leg to be doing really well. That leader is going to be independent, like starting to focus on them, getting their legs, building them up, right? Then you want to be focusing on your second leg to get them to 2,000 volume. Then you're going to have some additional volume throughout. It could be on leg 1, leg 2, or you could have third leg or fourth leg that you started building that will encompass all the 5,000 overall volume. To get to the next rank, which is going to be silver, you need to have 3 elites underneath you. To be silver, you need to have 3 overall 3,000 volume to be elite. So that will be 9,000 volume on your team. And so how do you lift those lower people to be able to get to executive, to get to manager, all those different ranks up? You want to be able to help that downline do that. So that means you're going to be developing yourself as a leader to help those people become leaders. What does that take? What kind of muscle do you need to have in your mindset, in your skill set? Like, what are you doing as your daily method of operation that you want your team to be duplicating that you're doing? So you need to stop, evaluate, plan, do, review everything that you're doing. If it's daily, when we talk about all these skills that you're doing, like for inviting, the scripts, the classes, and teaching those things, that is practice. You do it, review. Do it, review. How did it go? What could you do different? And it's not to beat yourself up. It's to polish and to really make that rock nice and shiny. And so the shiner you get, it may turn into gold, right? And we can't make that happen. That has to come from you. We can show you the steps, but you have to make those steps. You have to get to that marathon, you have to get your jogging shoes on and actually start doing the work. You have to get those muscles moving, the brain working. You have to do the evaluation. And the difference is that you want to really cultivate building a downline that's going to have a great culture of doing this work. The more everybody does their part, the easier it will be. I see so many leaders, including myself. I did this, oh my gosh, I could tell you so much, where I do a lot of help for my downline. I want to be supportive and all those good things. However, I recognize that enables people, meaning Becky will take care of it for me or something, and they don't learn themselves. And then it's not empowering them. And that's not a good way to really build up a strong team. So you want to develop a culture of resiliency, having everybody develop that strong mindset, that work ethics, that ability to be able to go. Now, not everybody's going to want to do that because maybe their goals are different. So that's why it's really important to have that critical conversation. So when you're talking to people about, hey, do you want to do the business with me? This is a great opportunity. What kind of leader do you need to be able to have this conversation with people? You want to be attractive, like she knows what she's talking about. I want to follow her. I want to do what she's doing. That is going to be a critical part of making this work and be important. So let me give you a list. There's 4 things you want to be as kind of a leadership. And this is the kind of language you're going to want to develop. The first thing is you're going to want to speak in assignments. So every time you're talking to your downline, you want your downline to have an assignment. So if you're talking to me and I say, okay, your assignment is, if you accept, maybe come up with 20 names, and we're going to do a class on Friday, and I'd like you to invite all those people to this class on Friday. Got it? Got it. Okay. And then come back. Once you get those 20 people invited, then we have the next assignment. Okay. So assignments, simple, create accountability. So like, I want you to get back on this time, Now, the better way to do it is actually teach the downline to create that accountability and tell you what they want. Okay, my assignment or my goal this week is to do 20 invites, and I'm going to have them at the meeting by 3 o'clock on Friday. And I'm going to make sure that 3 of them enroll. And I'm going to have these enrollment conversations before I invite them so they know what the class is about. So being able to move them forward more with that independent mindset and accountability. That really helps develop that brain, that mindset, that muscle that's needed to be able to make it really moving forward, you guys. So the next thing is challenge. Speak in challenges. Maybe you have 2 leaders. Hey, I've got you and so-and-so. We'll say so-and-so's Martha. I got Lisa and Martha. Okay, you guys, we're going to put a challenge with you guys. You both are ranking executive right now. What would it be like if you were to rank elite this month? I have a challenge for you guys. Let's make it a race. See how many people now. Your volume is 1,500. What do you need to do to get your volume so far this month up to 1,500 more? How many people do you need to enroll? You guys, let's do this, and then really inspire them and help them see the vision of why that is so important. And that will help push them onto the phone themselves. That's going to inspire themselves to do it instead of me telling them to do something, right? And then you always want to speak in stories. So part of that inspiration is, what would it be like? You know, if you were to get to elite this month, and then you were to be able to get to premier the following month, and then we've got 3 months to get to gold. Do you think you can do it? And if you got to gold, what would your dreams be if that happened? And help them create that vision too. So when you're actually able to help them create that vision, create their dreams, create that and keep that in front, then they're always constantly being inspired. And it's a self-inspiration because that's what their goals are, not what your goals are, right? And the number 4 thing is speak, I said this already, but speaking in a vision aspect and in stories. So I like to say a story like Matthew has been founder in Brazil, and it's not easy. What kind of leader do you think doTERRA would want to have in their foundership circle? What kind of leader do you think doTERRA would respect and honor and support? If this person is somebody that they can speak on doTERRA's terms and support doTERRA all the way through. Gosh, it's so incredible when you think about, as a past employer, I would interview people, send out job postings, and I'd get all these resumes in, and to evaluate who these people are and what's going to be the best fit for that. If you were doTERRA and you wanted those 40 positions, those foundership positions, to be this kind of person, are you that kind of person? What kind of person is that? And I would think as doTERRA would want people who are always positive and will do whatever it takes, always supporting the culture of the company, always supporting all the promotions, all the problems, like making sure that they're speaking in positive terms all the time. You guys, this is really incredible opportunity. Do you fit that? And I would like you to take a look at that and write down all your skills, write down what you think doTERRA is looking for, and see what's missing, where you can start to polish on those areas that you think would be a really huge benefit for you. Now that's where your mentor comes in, and you want to be able to speak with your mentor on an ongoing basis. This mentor's cross-line, upline, whatever you're going to need. And I'm sure that your upline is there to support you. And if they're not, then go further up. And if they're not, go further up. And, we're here to help you. I am not going to do the work for you because, my gosh, I got 600 people on our team in India. I can't do all that for everybody, right? But if I do, that's going to enable you. That's not going to inspire you. That isn't the kind of leader that doTERRA is looking for. And I want to help you build that muscle. I want to help you build that resilience. I want to help you build that no matter what it takes mindset to make sure that you can build and do this. And, it's incredible, you guys. This is something that's we're so excited to be a part of. And I just want so much to infuse this information into your mind. And, when you think about your downline and your upline and who's doing what, who's not doing what, sometimes it can be discouraging, right? Because it doesn't look like the way you think it looks or should look. I want to tell you, don't be part of that younger generation or that younger classman where everything's a problem. And that's a lower energy vibe that's going to bring you down. It's going to bring your team down. It's going to bring the company down. We are working so hard to try to maintain a higher level of integrity and culture. It's incredible. It really needs to happen, and it comes from you too. And so if you can just do everything you can to remain positive. I know the shippings don't come out all the time as fast as we want them to, but it's an incredible opportunity for you to use this time to help lift people up and say, yeah, things aren't perfect. We're still pre-launching, but it's an incredible opportunity. And we're going to, know that that's there and be mindful about it, but we're also going to use it as a positive thing that this pre-launch is allowing us to be ahead of the rest of the people. Becky and Suzanne and Larry are working really hard to get these products to us, and they're paying for shipping, so we shouldn't complain. Okay? And so it's just an incredible way for us to do this training. There's so much to learn, to polish and work on, and show up every day. If you want to be a founder in India, it's going to take a remarkable amount of work. And you think about it from doTERRA's perspective. If they're going to give you a $100,000 bonus, what do they want to give that to a person that's going to be doing what? It's going to take a remarkable feat. Are you that remarkable person? And so really stop, plan, do, review, and see what you need to polish. Keep working on it. And if you want me to help you kick your butt, you call me and say, Becky, you need to kick my butt. And I'll be happy to do that. What that looks like is you say, Becky, today's my assignment is this. I'm going to make 10 phone calls. I'm going to schedule this class. I'm going to go to 2 homes and do a wellness consult. Great. Let's make that happen. And I would love to be that accountability partner for you. So anyhow, I hope this was helpful for you. I just want to check my notes and make sure that I've talked about everything. Yeah, so one other thing is that when we're talking about the daily method of operation, and that is really developing habits. And we, in this whole culture that we have going on, I think it's a global conversation. And actually, when I've been to different markets and different things, I could see it. I could see it here in my hometown, my past employees, that this laziness or this automatic thinking it's going to happen for you just because you show up doesn't work. You have to do the work. And so what habits do you have as a daily method of operation that you're doing on a daily basis? What habits are you having? Meaning, do you get up early morning? What do you do routinely exactly the same? What are you doing? Is it getting you the results that you need? And if it's not getting you the results, what mind twist do you need to do to change that? So, for example, some habits that some people do, one of the habits would be is always showing up late for a meeting or always showing up. Are you one of those people that always shows up late? What is that like to always be late? And what is that like for the person that's having the event? It's actually pretty rude. And I had a friend one time, we were talking about this exact same thing, why she always showed up late for meetings and stuff. And she actually got down to the root of it, like the root cause of why her mental thought is because she wanted to make an entrance. Like if she was late, she blows in and she's important and she's so busy and everybody's going to pay attention to her because she flies in the room and, here I am, sorry I'm late. And it's just an interruption for everybody else. It's a distraction and it's extremely rude. And so do you want to be that rude person? Do you want your downline duplicating that because that's what you're doing? So think about if you're teaching a class and everybody shows up late, how would you feel? And so as a leader, all these little actions that we do on a daily, our daily habits and things like that, really take a deep dive and think about your skills, what you're not getting done on a daily basis, what you seem to be doing over and over again that's not supporting you to getting to your goals and where you are. What interruption do you have to have for yourself to make that go away? And you can, I tend to believe that habits are always going to be there. Either they're good habits or bad habits, but it's up to you to change that habit and actually make a different perspective on it. What that habit change could be is maybe you show up late for meetings all the time. You can flip the coin, and on the other side, the opposite side of that is you can be early and be a contribution. So show up 15 minutes early. See what you can do to help set up the room. See what else needs to be done. Maybe call the leader and see if you can bring something that would be supportive for them. What is the opposite of that that would be a contribution? When you start being of service like that, that shows up completely different. Everything shifts in what your goals and plans are. And so take a look, write down what you want in a leader, what you think doTERRA wants in a founder. Write all those skill sets down and then seriously evaluate yourself to see if you are that. And see, I would have to say, you never stop learning. You have not arrived. You are not the best. There's always someone better. This morning, Suzanne was talking about her breaking her leg and how terrible she was feeling, and it is terrible. It's very painful, very, very problematic, hard to get around, just a huge interruption, right? And she was feeling bad, rightfully so. And then she saw someone in a wheelchair that had no arms and no legs. And she realized that there's always somebody worse, right? There's always a worse situation, and that we need to count our blessings. I believe also on the top side of that is that there's always somebody better than you. And how are you going to actually keep growing and learning? I don't think you ever stop growing and learning. And, when you think about what it takes to be a founder in India, I'm not talking about being gold. I'm talking about wearing that badge. It's almost like they give you a coat where you walk around saying, I'm an ambassador for doTERRA because I'm a founder. And what are you going to be speaking? What are you going to be saying for doTERRA? How are you going to be being? What kind of classes are you going to be teaching? All of those things is a huge level. It's an upper level that you've never experienced. Maybe some of you experienced a little bit of it. Amazing. But this doTERRA is the #1 essential oil company in the world, and you've never experienced it with doTERRA. And so now is the time to stop and really think about your daily method of operations on what a true leader really needs to do on a daily basis. And I will begin with me, and I'm going to tell you that I'm not making the phone calls that I should be making on a daily basis with my United States team. And I'm committed to making 10 phone calls a day, following up and giving love to everybody. And it's just saying, hey, I just wanted to let you know I appreciate you, and happy Mother's Day. That's coming up, and I hope you have a beautiful day. And just giving love on people and letting them know that you're thinking about them. We are in times right now where everything is so lonely. Everybody's sitting around needing that connection, needing someone to talk to. And wow, why not it be you? Why not you be the sparkle in in their lives and make a huge difference? So what are your habits that you're doing on a daily basis? And adjust them, make them different, change it up, because that's going to add some fire and spark. And stretch yourself, because I tell you what, we need to do a lot of stretching to be able to be a founder in India. And I believe in you. I love all of you guys. I trust and know that you can make this happen. And again, it's up to you and what's between these 2 ears. So make it work, you guys. And reach out to me if you have any questions. And I would love to see in the chat below what habit you want to change that you know that is not serving you, and you've done it for a very long time. I would like to know what that habit is that you want to change, and flip it around, the opposite of that, and insert in that habit, because you're going to get rid of that old habit. You're going to put in a new habit, because again, we all have habits. So you're going to be bad habits or good habits. And just start with one. Just do one habit and start being really, I'm talking laser focused on that habit. Laser focused, like nothing else matters. And really, right now, nothing else matters than doing the hard work. In my class on Monday, for the leadership class, I'm going to do a video on The Karate Kid. And The Karate Kid is a movie that was, gosh, I don't know, 1980s. It was a long time ago. And it was about this kid getting beat up at school all the time, feeling sorry for himself. But he really had a crush on this girl. And it was one of these other guys' girlfriend. And anyway, he kept getting beat up because he was flirting with her and stuff. And make a long story short, they were really good karate people. They loved karate. And so when they started doing karate moves on him and stuff, he felt like he needed to learn karate. And lo and behold, one of the guys in his apartment building, the maintenance guy, actually was a karate expert, and he didn't know that. And he got to be friends with him, and because he helped him one time when he was getting ganged up on with these kids. And so he got to be good friends with him, and he was told him he would train him karate. And so he took him outside and said, here's a paintbrush, a paint can, and a paintbrush, and you're going to paint the fence. And he's showing him how to paint the fence. No, you do it this way. And so he got down to the end of the fence, and he goes, no, you're not done. The fence went all the way. I mean, it was a huge fence all the way around his backyard. And he's like, oh my gosh. And then he kind of got mad because he thought that he was doing the maintenance work for this maintenance guy. And anyway, make a long story short, that is where he was teaching him how to do a karate move. And there was actually different tasks that he had him do, polishing the car, painting the house, and all these different moves that he did to make these techniques of doing a good karate moves. And he didn't know that. But when he started teaching him how to do those moves, it was automatic. And that's what we're doing with all these moves. That's what we're doing with all of these assignments, making those phone calls, those scripts, inviting people to a class, in the class, teaching the class over and over and over again so it's memorized in your mind. You can teach it in your sleep. You need to have all that stuff memorized so much that you've taught that class, you practice, oh, this didn't work very well, I'm going to change the wording the next time. And you're keeping track of all that stuff. You're keeping track of what worked, what didn't work, so that you can fine-tune your skill set. If you're just doing this just because you're doing this, you're not getting better. So plan, do, review, and always make sure that you're doing all those things that you're practicing those steps. And again, you may find 3 builders out of 100 people you called. Out of those 3 builders, they may not be with you in a year. So the more you keep doing this, the more you keep practicing, the more builders you find, the more people you call, the more intention you have, the more practice you have, and the more stick to them those builders will be, because you're being a leader. You're learning how to deal with things. You've had the experience of what doesn't work, what works. You have the experience of all the problems that can come up and how to deal with them. Because you've built the resiliency. You built the mindset power, the ability of making it so that you can continue working, the power of these habits, the stick to them. You are showing how it is to be a leader, and you're having people come up with you because you've got the practice. And I would have to say my first year working in India was that. I'm finding people, working with them, learning how to be a leader, making mistakes, polishing that up, and every week, every month, I'm getting so much better. And I would just so much love that for you, but you have to do it through your own practice. You have to do it through your own learning. You have to run the marathon. And that's what's going to be incredible. You guys, it's so worth it. It truly is. And yeah, I just, if you're fed, look at my notes here again. If you're having a hard time making those 100 phone calls, just turn the brain off and just do the work. Just like the Karate Kid, he just had to just go through the emotions, and it becomes muscle memory. So, all right, you guys, type in the chat below what habit is that you want to break, and on the flip side, what habit you want to replace that with. And love to hear it. Let me know. All in on oils, you guys. And here we go with the 90-day momentum. I'm trying to finish up the pieces here. And hopefully you are getting this information, and I'd love to hear what you think. Thank you. Bye.